Welcome back to another episode of To Be Quite Honest, your go-to podcast for deep conversations around the world of real estate and more. And I remain your ever gracious host, Norma. And with me, I have
Big Ben, and I'm super excited to be here today. Today, we're going to talk about something really important. The topic today is network versus net worth, right? And today, we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Imelda Olaoye. She's one of the brightest people in town to have this discussion with us, and that's why we brought her here today. So, let me just tell you a thing or two before she tells you more. So, first of all, Imelda is the managing partner of ThinkMint Nigeria. And ThinkMint is not just registered in Nigeria, it's also registered in Europe. So she's an international business woman, right? I'm not done. Now, Imelda is the host of REDA. REDA is Real Estate Discussions and Awards. And it will interest you to know that she has actually, held these conferences 4 times already. And sometime in September this year, we'll have the 5th conference. And so I think at this point, Imelda.
Okay, hello, good to be here. As you said, my name is Imelda Olaoye. I'm the managing partner of ThinkMint Nigeria and Europe. Yes, and then ThinkMint is a real estate marketing firm. We specialize in marketing of real estate projects across Nigeria and Europe, the diaspora as well. We also have projects to market in Dubai and the UAE. We also organize real estate discussions and awards, as Ben has said. And also have a real estate magazine, which we call Real Life Magazine, basically. I'm also the founder of Business Women Hub, a community that supports women in business, basically.
Oh, interesting. Absolutely.
like, I'm speechless. I want to start the conversation and I'm just like, all your accomplishments. Well done. It's so lovely to have you here. So let's dive right into our conversation of the day.
It's blow.
So, Imelda, like you said, like your accomplishments, everything you have said now, could you share an experience, like an unexpected encounter that you had that was beneficial to your career? Because obviously you meet 1,000 lots of people.
I'm a very strong gunner for relationships and meeting people. I mean, even before I started ThinkMint, I used to work at Property Pro as the events manager first, and then I rose to become the head of media and exhibitions. And all that happened just through networking and meeting people. At some point, I'll go out for meetings and people will be like, are you not, where are the owners of the company? Because it felt like I was running, here's their face, and that was it. I was coming up with ideas because I was meeting people. I got to get feedback on the issues that people had in the real estate space, and then I started thinking. So in fact, running into ThinkMint was answering this question is, I'm trying to pick which of the scenarios to make use of. There are so many of it, So if I want to scale it from Property Pro even into ThinkMint Nigeria, because starting ThinkMint was just, I didn't have to struggle to start. I already had people that I knew who had insisted that, Imelda, we're doing business with you. And imagine that sort of thing. But one encounter that really stood out for me was when we wanted to do REDA 2020. That was the first edition of REDA. And in 2020, we had to do 2 editions of the event, right? And I was trying to get a keynote speaker. I don't know if I can mention the person I was trying to get here, but he used to be the MD CEO of the Federal Housing Authority, and that's Senator Benga Shafa. I try to write because that's what I do. I want to reach you. I just write to you. I don't care. I don't know anybody in the place. I'll just write. And so I wrote to his office in Lagos then, and there was no response and all of that. And I just happened to go to LSDPC because I wanted to also drop off a letter for their MD to speak at the events. And somehow I met a lady at LSDPC. She works in a department there. And she was like, okay, so what are you doing? I was inviting my MD, inviting us to participate in the events. Okay, so I'm like, okay. In fact, I would want Senator Benga Shafa to be the keynote speaker for this year. And she said, hey, that's my daddy. And I'm like, really? Your daddy? Okay, so I want him to be our keynote speaker. I said, okay, just give me the letter. Send the letter to me. I send it to his PA. We'll reach out to him. And that was how, and in all honesty, that relationship moved away from just being a keynote speaker. We had the Federal Housing Authority Mortgage Bank partner with ThinkMint Nigeria and trying to process loans for homeowners, and we're still, working, growing in that regard. These are for me, it's just the relationship, the fact that there's so much that can be achieved. And all of this was done on merits, nothing, So thinking about that, and it grew from, like I said, from just being at the event into something that has blossomed into more like a partnership, So now if I want a mortgage bank to sort of support us at the federal level, exactly, there are people. And then it didn't just end with the person. So I also had built relationship with members of the team, and everybody within the organization that can also support in our vision, just meeting one person who I didn't know from anywhere. So yes, that's one relationship when we're starting the business, basically, or the conference, as the case may be. Yes.
Okay, that was lovely.
That was a brilliant response. I'm taking notes already. I hope I run into the sun someday. All right. So, my question to you would be: how do you approach, people who have this notion of stereotypes when they try to forge relationships? And the examples you can share with us, would like to.
So I'm a very open-minded person, and the truth of the matter is that I also encourage people to be very open-minded. I don't judge. I could read things about somebody and it doesn't really matter to me because I haven't met you. And even in the relationship, something happens. I realize that it's probably because of something, So I try to go back to the drawing board and I'm like, what went wrong there? But I don't carry that particular situation into the next, situation or the next scenario. So I'll mention an example, right? When we had Real Life magazine and I thought of working on Real Life magazine, I reached out to some people who were like people that, we're working together and we're really supportive of my brand. And then we got some feedback and someone was like, oh, you know what, can we make this thing? So it was beginning to go away from what I wanted for the vision that we had for the magazine. And I was like, well, but this is not the vision that I have for this magazine and the vision. You have to work with your vision and your goal. But it didn't make me feel bad or say, I want to end that relationship because it didn't go the way that I wanted to go. Now, one of the guys that we featured one time on the magazine, a lot of stereotype for this particular feature. The person that was featured, people be like, no, this man, no, he's not like this, he's not supposed to be, and all of that. I'm like, wait, has this man delivered? There's a lot of, so if there's a relationship issue, maybe between you and somebody else, maybe you encountered him and you felt like it was a bit stern or it was not so, the outcome wasn't as you wanted. That doesn't mean that he doesn't deliver as what he's going to do. So for me, what I look out for is this person able to deliver? Can this person bring the result that I need? So whatever scenario is around that particular person or stereotype or whatever it is, I don't want to look at that. It's none of my business. A person can deliver what I want or what is actually the real thing. So there's value. I think that's the word now, value, that person is bringing on. But I don't think that we should face or stick to stereotypes in that case. And stereotypes now could be people's feedback on a personality because of their own personal experience with the person, which is not actually because of the person's inadequacy. It's actually maybe because of your own feel about the person. Yes, and there are two different things. So you want to focus on adequacy and performance rather than attitude or whatever, that you expect. Because no, honestly, what you expect from someone is not what another person expects from the person. So we should look at what is the result here. What can this person deliver? Can it doesn't bring the result that I need? Has this person been delivering in the past? I think that's how, I sort of like have run through that aspects of stereotypes as the case may be.
For someone like you who comes in contact with a lot of people, you cannot even afford to not be open-minded.
Like, I don't think anybody can necessarily tell you like, okay, this is like close your mind off a person because you have to know the person. And I think that's just how I am as well. You can't necessarily tell me how someone is and I'm like, okay, yes, I'll go with what you say. I just feel like, yeah, being open-minded really. Okay, it looks like you're close-minded. I've heard you. But okay, so thank you for that, Imelda. Like, I would say I'm learning a lot. But, when it comes to networking, right, there's sometimes people know how to, like, overstep their boundaries. So could you give us tips, on so that if I meet you now, so that I don't come off as a user, so I know where to set the boundary. Do you understand?
Yes. I, for one, would say that you want to always showcase your value,
Yeah.
what you have to offer. So when you're walking into a room and you're meeting somebody and you're trying to, you're like, oh, you already have something that, I feel like, for instance, if you have an idea of who you're going to meet with, you probably have already done your research on what value you can add to that person. That's how I would go for a meeting or for a gathering where some people that I'm looking forward to meeting with will be there. And I know that you can say that, okay, what if it was an unexpected meet? But I think that off the top of your head, you should always have your elevator pitch, right? You want to always say something that would give value. Because if you're not giving me value in our conversation, I would think that you just want to rip up, just use me, or maybe just
Like whatever
I can get from you. Exactly. But if I'm telling you that, there's something that you're currently doing that I can add value, I can solve, you're going to want to reach out to me.
Okay, so but what if you now meet somebody and then they're not willing to basically state all the things they are doing, like surface level, like we're not necessarily discussing to the point where I have value to add.
Yeah, I know that, right? And so that person would probably, so for instance, if I'm going for an event now, right, or I sort of like walk into a room, let me just give you a real life scenario, right? There are some people that we do business with at Think Mint, and it's like, in fact, at some point I was like, we're not going to take, we actually profile the businesses that we take now, right? So we don't work with everybody, and it's not pride or anything. It's just that we're also, exactly, and so the people who reach out to us to work with us are people we actually even prefer when you're reaching out to us, right? And so that's how we've been able to build, yes, our portfolio and our profile. So even those people that is like, how can I access this person? And the only way that we're able to do that is value. And that's why I'm insisting on the fact that value is important. So you need to be able to know your value and how to also showcase your value. The truth of the matter is that in your industry, whatever sector that you play, we're talking real estate here now, right? If you're a player in the real estate industry, whether you're a marketer, whatever role you have in the real estate industry, if you have been delivering results, whether both with the projects that you manage in terms of the people that you sell for now, and then even people who have been purchasing from you, you would actually always be a reference point, right? And so they've seen that this person can solve the problem. So in a room where people don't even like you, or in a room where you're not supposed to be mentioned, because there are some people, maybe you're not even up to the level of all the people that are in that room. They'll just be like, there's one person here that can see this thing. Well, let's reach out to this girl. No matter how crazy she comes across, or no matter how, forward, or no matter how, so you want to just ensure that you are always showcasing your value at the end of the day. And then you're not asking, rather than ask. That's why I mentioned you're solving. So you're listening, right? And then you're getting feedback and you're preferring a solution off the top of your head. There was something that somebody said one time, we're at a conference. So yes, we're at a meeting, let me just say meeting basically. And then someone said that, there was a time where we're just sharing ideas on how people are able to sell and market and then retain relationships and all of that. And she said, there was one time when our clients wanted to purchase something and from her. And then the person said she had seen that same project on another person's platform, right? And then the reason why she didn't buy from that person was because the person came across her as though she was begging her. And that's the general truth. When you come across as you're begging somebody or you're trying... Yes, she didn't buy from her because she wasn't seeing reason. And that's one thing that if you...
The person was just going round just telling us...
the features are, yes, saying things like, help me, I need money. And then there's nobody's way to do business with you. If you do that, whether you work for a company or you own a business or you're actually intending to run a business or you probably just want to... So you have to always have that thing that you're bringing to the table. Even if there are 1,000 people doing the same thing, okay, why is your own different? So you want to look for that pitch, that thing, yes. So that's what you should solve. You should think of first your why. Why am I the one that people should work with? Because there are lots of you, so why should it be me? So I think that if you find your why, and which is your value, you would never come across as you're just there. Exactly.
Just one of them.
And in all honesty, we can have all of this, and some people can still be what they are. They will still think that it was him, Yes, that's the truth. And so you need to set boundaries. At that point, you want to now set boundaries. You want to see that, because at times there's some people that even though you have shown them value, they see your value, you've done something for them, thing was really valuable, they would now want to listen to you, bring you down, exactly, and be like, you didn't do well. So at that point, if they come back again, you set your boundaries. Okay, so it didn't work before, and then you move on without feeling bad or, again, stereotyping. They call you another period, another time. Forget about what happened. Just set your boundaries. And I think at that point, everybody will understand that she doesn't take this. And so, yes, for the business, so that's it.
All right. So I totally love everything you shared so far, particularly about the fact where you said, doesn't matter how many people are within a space, provide value, and that would help you stand out. In real estate, we have a lot of developers today. Realtors, some people say realtors are even more than the investors in Lagos, because everybody and their mom is an agent, But then I also think that there'll be viewers who are hearing you, listening to you right now, and are thinking, what are the skill sets, what are the competencies that have helped you, navigate all of these complex relationships you currently have? I mean, you have a network of realtors you work with lots of developers, you've networked, even high up to the regulator area, right? So I think there's what are the skill sets, here that have helped you navigate all of this? Share with us so that we too someday can know people in corridors of power.
Okay. So, even at work in the office, I always talk to my team members, and every time I'm saying soft skills, you need to grow your soft skills. I mean, hard skills you can get in 1 month, in 1 day. You can learn everything that you need to understand it in terms of your products, right, or what you have to offer. But soft skills is something you need to grow every day. You want to get better at it every time, because the truth is people would annoy you. People will not tell you, they'll tell you no. And so it's not like you're always going to get yes. So, I mean, me here, I get a lot of no's. So what do I do when I get a no? I always say that I tell people that, see, to be a good salesperson, actually, this problem you're solving starts when the person is telling you no. That's when you are now showing your power as a marketer or a salesperson. I mean, based on what I do. And so I'm now like, why is this person telling me no? What happened? Is it that I did not showcase my value? Because that's what it means. I didn't showcase my value. For him to have said no outrightly, he did not say something. He did not say anything about it. He did not even say, okay, it's because of this. You just said, no, you're not going ahead. No, there's something I didn't do right. So I go back and I'm like, what were the things what has the person told me? What did the person say to me? Maybe I didn't identify the person's problem. That's how you can stand out. So you want to stand out by identifying problems. Lots of times people just want to get the yes and move on. And if you don't say get yes, you're already tired. You're not showcasing, because if you're having a conversation with somebody, you want to listen to the person and solve the person's problem. So if you are not able to solve the problem, you want to go back and check, okay, how can I solve the problem? Do I need to give this person some more time to be able to solve the person's problem? And that's why I don't agree that there are more of the people within this space than the investors, as the case may be. Real estate is really, it's a basic necessity of life, just like food. There are 3, then those days in social studies, they'll say there are 3 basic needs of life: food, water, shelter, And so people will always buy houses. That's the truth of the matter. So when you have that at the back of your mind, at the back of your head, every day, people, the one that they are living in before, they'll be like, this one, I think I need a bit. I need to upgrade. This part of status, and you're showcasing your class with your kind of house. And so who is going to solve all that problem? So what you need to do is identify, what the people actually need. Is it that they want a long-term payment plan? Look for things that you can curate that sort of like solves that problem. Is it that maybe they just feel like you need to structure this thing so that it helps their finances? And then sometimes the ones that even want that structuring end up even paying before the people who come across to you as those. So give everybody a level playing ground. Call them in, ask them a question. When you're talking to your clients or would-be clients, as the case may be, you want to ask the person, what exactly are you looking to achieve? Is it that you're looking for something that you want to just invest in and move on? At that point, I won't be sending some kind of places to you because you're not going to live there. So I'll give you a low entry or a mid-level project to purchase because you just want to invest in it, right? Or even give you an outright investment opportunity where you're not buying house. It's just like a buyback. I tell you how much you will get at the end of a period. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's where I have solved the problem. You just want to invest in real estate, but you don't want to be involved in the entire process of your own purchase, things like that. So you want to get, like I would say again, value, bring something to the table, and then you would stand out and people would always come to you, at the end of the day. So that's...
You should know that I want to put it to you that you're still hiding an update. He started by saying, develop your soft. Yeah, he said, develop your soft skills. Is that soft skills gone?
Waiting for the soft skills. I've been waiting for the soft skills. She just said, don't work on hard skills. Develop. Okay, I thought she would say the soft skills. Tell us the soft skills. So that also we can network now.
Okay, soft skills would be, being very emotional and showcasing a lot of emotional intelligence. Honesty, I used to struggle with it a lot back in the days, like a lot. I'm a very straightforward person. Like if you are doing anyhow here, my goodness, I'll give it back to you in the way that it is. There's no hiding. But there was something I learned in one place where I worked at one time. And then at a meeting, somebody was like, I was working under a lady. And then the operations manager and that lady who was my manager then, they would have serious issues. Like if I was the one, I will not talk to that operations manager as at that time anymore. But they would somehow at meetings still have conversations. And even the operations manager was
I don't think the person is pretending.
And then one day she now said that I've not seen anybody that has this high level of emotional intelligence. This is somebody that she's always fighting with.
Yeah.
Commending on this other person that. And then at that point I picked it and I'm like, it's something that you need to actually have if you want to grow with people and maintain relationships. Your emotional intelligence, you need to, choose your battles. So if it isn't working, in fact, sometimes decline some jobs because so that it doesn't cause any friction. Sometimes just let go of the thing. If you're not able to convince the person to do what you want, let go of it and just leave it. That's way you can come back later and then now still have a conversation about it. You're trying to explain yourself, but don't close bridges. Don't burn bridges. Yes, don't burn bridges. Just leave it open as much as you can. Exactly, that person again. Yes, so just don't close that gap. Just allow it. Now, if it didn't go that way, like I said, come back again. Maybe in another 2 years, you don't realize that you people are actually would now be doing stuff together. So emotional intelligence in dealing with people, especially people that are doing stuff for you, that you are working for. So sometimes I see some customers, I want to purchase something a lot of times online, and then the way that they are talking, I'm like, I don't understand. Hey, this is not how I treat my clients. So how are you people treating customers like that? You are still selling. I would just be taken aback.
And they are friends that they're still selling to because I can't actually understand.
And then I talk to the person as though I will not, sometimes even when I deal with other realtors, that's the sad reality. Maybe I want to go and see something for, something, and I'm like, going and the person will be telling me that, madam, what is it now? I'm waiting for you since. So I'm like, we can never tell someone that wants to purchase a property from thinking that we'll be waiting for you, like we'll be shouting at you that we'll be waiting for you.
Some people, that's just how they sell. Some people, they are rude naturally, but some people just, because they believe that if this one is rude, nothing will happen to my body, she'll give them hot.
Like, how are you able? There was a time that a lady reached out to us and said the reason why she reached out to us because the company she wanted to buy from, the girl was, the response, in fact, at the point, when I met her, I hadn't met her before. Well, I think her husband actually reached out to us and then she reached out to us again. We scheduled the inspection. At the inspection, she now said, sorry, that she wants to ask me something, that please, can I look at this chart? Is something wrong? This is somebody that I never knew before. We just met for the first time. She was saying, did she say something wrong to the lady on chat? Because the way the lady responded to her was as though they've known each other before. And she was like, that she was even thinking within herself, is that sound someone? Like, no, you had a normal conversation. You have every right to ask for more details about what you want to buy. Why would somebody be angry? So things like that, you want to be able to control yourself. You can do all that drama when you're with people that you know, but you see people who you don't know. You need to be able to control yourself. Let it go. You need to just be able to do that. So that's one thing that you need to have. And that's the area of the soft skills now. Knowing how to understand situations and realize that this thing is not just the situation that you want to be in right now. Just let it slide. And then also understand that customer is the king as well, And so that person that you're looking to do something with is king over you. If the way the person is going about it doesn't work for you, step out, but don't cause a problem. Let there be no issue, within it. And that's something that I have had to learn over time, in running my business.
So Ben, were you able to get the soft skills now?
That's in the soft skill, and I can also relate to the analogy. So sometime last year, the guy reached out to me. He said he actually saw an ad on YouTube for a property somewhere in town, and he chatted with the agent. She gave him some information. He told her he was going to come into Lagos by the end of that month, and he actually did. Now, he said he came in, he was telling her, okay, share some more information with me, let me be sure. My friend who's a lawyer is also in town. He's asking me for XYZ. He said, and I think the lady now responded along the lines of, oh, sir, you told me you were abroad before. Now you're in the country. You're still sitting in your house and chatting me. Why don't you come? Let's go and see the land. If you have any other questions, I can now take you to their office. The guy now said, no. How about you furnish me all this information first? Yeah, if my lawyer is satisfied, then I would come out for the inspection, and then we can close. So I think he didn't like that response, and then he called a friend of his and was complaining, is this how realtors in Lagos behave? You can't even be polite and address my concerns and all of that. And eventually I closed that, and that was something he kept talking about it. So I know that a lot of people have lost deals because they're not emotionally intelligent enough to manage, relationships.
And that interestingly, because people who purchase from us at ThinkMint, a lot of times we're the ones fighting the developers to get all the information that they need. So they'll rather keep coming to buy through us because we're going to fight tooth and nail to get everything that they require for that transaction to go smoothly at the end of the day. Whatever agreement they need, we're going to ensure. So that's one thing. So you had to keep yourself just like you said. So that's a very important thing if you want to network and then grow your net worth as well.
We've learned so much.
I'm just thinking, and I'm just wow, thank you. This was such an insightful conversation.
So the question just popped in my head. How long have you been in business?
So we started ThinkMint in 2020. Yes, about 4 years. Yes, 4 years.
You've learned so much for someone who's been in business for just 4 years.
Hasn't been in business for 4 years. She started for ThinkMint 4 years, but she has been training and planning. And then I've taken up the position at my former company where I used to lead teams. So I sort of have the experience of background of about 9 years in this aspect of property sales, basically. And yes, that's how it's been.
This is really, really insightful for me. Okay, go ahead. I was just going to talk about my takeaways from here. Let's share with our viewers to add to their own takeaways. For me,
I'm going to say before she goes, she should just tell our viewers, okay, now, how would, you already soft skills, but just, pointers, points, just, if I want to grow my net worth, through networking. So what do I do? Number one, number two, just give us 3 major points.
Okay, so first would be that grow your value, right? Whatever you need to find out, anything that you're doing, just make sure that you find the best way of doing it. I always say that we're not an agency, we're not a realtor company, we're a marketing company. And I said it at the beginning of the show that we're the one and only real estate marketing company in Nigeria. Because you see everybody saying other things, giving them, but we focus actually on the marketing side of it. And that's something that is not really here, because when you come to us, our value point is that we take up your project, put a brilliant presentation to your project to the buyer, right? And then help the buyer also understand why they should invest in this project. So at the end of the day, you're not just coming in as you're talking to a realtor. Yeah. So it's as though you're talking to the marketing company for the developer, and that's how that's our own value point. So find your value, find your value for whatever idea that you have, and then stick to, I'm not someone that would go everywhere. I really do not go everywhere. In fact, if you go on my page on Instagram, you probably on social media, I probably not see any posts like that. Someone's talking to me today, make content. So I'm like, have you ever seen me make content? Make content. I have contents on my phone and I never posted them. That's just my personality. But it doesn't take away the fact that I know what I'm doing and I'm good at it. So if you go to the brand that I'm building, you would see my value. Yes, everything that we were sort of showcasing on that brand, right? So if you need to get the best people to work with you to achieve a showcase of your value, you probably want to do that as well. If you're somebody like me that doesn't really like to be seen, out there exactly. And then when you're now thin, your value will speak for you because you have been able to showcase what is in your brain or in your head, in any way, whatever medium, as the case may be. And now in terms of meeting people, when you meet with people, of course, if you've grown your value, you're showing them what you can do for them, right? And that's where you're able to build a relationship. So don't just go and say, okay, so it's coming across as that you are trying to collect rather than giving. And then sometimes you want to even just, today I was talking to somebody before I came here today, and we're just aligning on the fact that a lot of times young people now, or people generally, want to think of the immediate benefits of what. Yes. So when I'm meeting you, I'm thinking long term, and I'm doing everything possible to keep it that way. So I'm building a long term. So that if I see you in another 4 years, somewhere, somehow, you're still going to stay Imelda. So that's it. So long-term relationships, build more of that long-term relationship. Try and build partnerships. Sometimes just let it go. It doesn't even have to be money. Just look at how both of you can work together. You don't have to see somebody, the other person, as your competitor or somebody that you want to out, that is going to come and take what you are built, Why can't you work together and align, And that's how I think that it should be, basically. So yes, that's it, Want to showcase your value. You want to, if you cannot do it yourself, if you have ideas, you want to work with people who can help you do it. And then also, you're also able to maintain relationships and build long-term relationships as against just short-term. And that's what happens. So they want to just collect and move on. Okay, what happens tomorrow? What happens afterward? Don't you want this person to be the one to still? It's better if you are being called than you always have to go and source for a new customer every time. No, you want to grow your database and then use those same people. So you keep repeat. A purchase is actually the best form of sales or purchase, as the case may be. Repeat purchase rather than referral. And then from repeat purchase, you get referrals as well. So you don't have repeat purchase and then they're still referring comfort. Exactly. And they keep referring you to other people rather than you have to search every day because at the end of the day, you have not been able to build a relationship and know when to draw the line and say, okay, let me hold on or leave this matter, So that's it, basically.
Thank you so much for being on set with us today. I know you count me down the other time, but I still want to tell you my takeaways from here. Yes. Number one, I like the emphasis on value. Yeah, you said, if we can count how many times you mentioned the word value, that's probably the word you use the most, throughout your entire session. And I really like that. If we all emphasized, becoming persons of value, showcasing our values the right way, the sky is only the limit to what we can achieve. Secondly, you spoke a lot about showcasing your value. It's not enough to develop yourself and be a person of value. You need to let people know what you can do. You shouldn't be the best at your thing and, just be in a corner. Be out there. Let the people who need what you can do see you out there exactly. And you also mentioned that we should, shun stereotypes, and keep an open mind when it comes to building relationships. You also said something around, thinking long term. It might not be profitable in the short term, but eventually that will exactly. And then soft skills also come to play in managing relationships. I can totally relate to that because I have a ton of clients and there's some that are really difficult and there are times when you'll be like, can this guy just, By the end of the day, that these guys can give you very quality, referrals. You've done good business with them, and in spite of, one or two issues from time to time, they're still amazing people. So you want to just, let your soft skills, save the day and just keep that relationship going. And then lastly, you talked about collaboration over competition. So I liked all of these points. There are things everybody can apply in whatever area they are, not necessarily real estate. And I must commend the fact that you're doing something really, really big in real estate space. Before Reda, there was nothing quite like this, to be honest. I've attended a couple of Reda sessions, and this is my opportunity to, network with you now, and also commend you for what you do. Bringing thought leaders to share ideas, rub minds, connect, collaborate. So well done. Well done. Well done.
And just to add there, talking about Reda, when it started Reda, my goal for Reda was the fact that I wanted, because there was some conference
Yeah.
but it just looks like more of the high-ended. So for people who are just for the not like that, I'm not even in terms of professional.
Yeah.
It was already ones who have achieved
Yes. Yeah.
their certain status where that were allowed into the room for those comments. I'm like, it don't have to be that way.
Yeah.
What happened? That's what they were talking.
Yeah.
What happens to people who are just
Yeah.
coming in? So yes, that's another thing I just wanted to mention. And then also how you handle situations and challenges.
Yeah.
One of the editions of Radar, that was one before last, it's 2023. We had a big challenge, all of our partners, right? And we couldn't hold the event.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah.
I remember.
Hold the event on the first day. And someone told me that he knows somebody that would have, as they were coming into the venue, the lady would have been shouting down the world. But he was like, and you just went away. And you didn't do anything. You just went, and then you guys had the event the next day. And I'm like, I choose my battles when it comes to height. Okay, so if I don't know that drama, what will happen? At that point, I feel like you want to think of a solution and a way out. And that's what I was just thinking of doing. Okay, what do I do? How do I handle this situation? How do I communicate to all the attendees and people the so that go back? And that was what I was trying to manage. So yes, you want to also be able to manage
challenge
and challenges in business. Is so important, really, really important that you're able to manage challenge and in business. So yes, that's what I just wanted to mention basically. And what did I do? I felt really bad. I wanted to take up the case with the people who did not keep to their side of the business. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like I actually wanted to. But somehow I got cancelled from some people. And that's why I said that even I myself, and that's the thing about me, I ask, so I don't just ask. I would speak to people. So yes, you want to get mentors and people that you can talk to. That, and then even your own reasoning as well. So before you
think it through.
Or your business, you want to think it through, properly before you actually. And that's where you're also being emotionally intelligent, So yes, that's just to buttress my points on that.
If you live with Imelda, she can go on and on and on. And to be fair, you're dropping like a lot of gems that, we could use, or our viewers I'm pretty sure you're learning a lot from what you've said. We just want to say thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Ben.
I've commended her already. Oh, thank you. It's not just a minute, but if you leave me to have many questions, because I remember I was at the office on that day you canceled the event. I was getting set to only call, and then I got the email.
No. So, I work. So why I left you guys to take the floor is because his sales, your, think mates and everything, you guys do more, your client facing. I used to be client facing, but I not necessarily ran away, but I wanted to pursue something different. So that's why I went into the marketing. So all these events, everything, were the ones that bring it to sales and say, okay, we have this for you guys to go. So there was a lot of back and forth, because I remember that time they came to me, so they're like, what type of event are people setting us up to go for? Like, but at the end of the day, look at if we had a closed mindset and said, okay, you know what, this particular people, we're not going to work with them anymore, because we also had our managing director to come and speak. So there was a lot of back and forth, but at the end of the day, we thought long term, and that's why we're still here. Yes, last year it was so shocking that you guys were one of the first people to reach out to us. Yeah. And I'm like, what happened? There must have been something. And there were so many people who were ready to work with us last year, because they saw that it wasn't our fault. There's a way that you should portray you have an issue, and actually it's clear that it wasn't you, that caused that issue. Yes. Because she sent letters, sent gifts. Well, yeah. But yeah, like I said, so we're more back end, but we would actually just want to commend you, keep up the good work, and thank you for gracing us with your presence. And to our viewers at home, we hope you learned a lot. I remain your ever beautiful host, Norma Ann.
Ben.